Hey everyone, welcome to The Fortune is in the Follow-Up, and we're going to spend the next little bit talking about how important follow-up is and different ways of being able to do it and why you want to do it and how you can do it as well. We have so many options that are open to us now, especially now with our O2 app. And we're going to go through some of those things. It's not going to be a how to do it on the O2 app. There's lots of training videos that'll help you with that. But I think a lot of us are still a little bit old school in being able to do it the way that most of us are doing, as you see Linda doing it right now on her little chits that she's got there. So Monica, if you want to put up the slides, we can start going through them. Okay, perfect. Nope, lost them. Yay, there we go. Okay, switch slides. Move it up. Okay, so as we said, the fortune is in the follow-up, and this is all going to be about how you find people to follow up with and where you can find the people to follow up with. And most importantly, now that you have those people, what are we going to do with them? Because it's one thing to get their contact information. It is a whole other thing to do something with that contact information. So a lot of us are good at getting it, and some of us are good at doing something with it. But if we can combine the two of those together, imagine what we can do with our businesses. We can really move our businesses forward. So what is follow-up? Follow-up can be in so many different things. Some of us will call our customers, and I know that a lot of us hate picking up the phone. I'm included. I hate picking up the phone. Like, blah. Yeah, definitely. It's not one of my things to do. But I have gotten really good at texting people. I am using my phone more and more and more to be able to do that. The key to that when you're texting is to add them in as a contact, so that way you always have their information there. At the beginning, I forgot to do a lot of that, and I'd have people messaging me, and it sounds really bad when you're saying, "Who is this?" when you're texting back. So take that little bit of extra time. Emailing your customers. Email is such an easy way of being able to follow up. We'll talk about different things that we can do on that. And we also can do things with leads. So leads and customers are two different things. Customers are people that have actually purchased from you already. So that follow-up will be in many different forms, from a thank you to inviting them to your VIP page, to emailing them, or perhaps inviting them to do a jewelry bar. Leads are the people that may have come by, didn't buy anything, but have given you their contact information, or you've picked up their contact information from different places, like standing in the line at the bank, standing at the grocery store. I've actually left catalogs in washrooms and gotten people's names as we're washing our hands at the sink. So that seems simple enough, right? Like, to be able to do that, like in the whole basic part of it. But the reality is, and this is a really important reality, the reality is that we're really good at getting the information, but it's the single most neglected thing that we do in our business, or don't do in our business, and that's following up. And it's crazy because it really is the number one thing that we can do to build our businesses and set us apart. And you look at those stats down at the bottom. So we tend to, sometimes get in touch with somebody once or twice. But if you look at those stats there, look at how it increases when you are at your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. You go from 2% of making a sale to an 80% chance of making a sale just by keeping in touch with people. So those leads that, although they may not have come to fruition for doing anything right now, we want to make sure that we are always still cultivating them, because you never know. And one of the things that I always like to tell people is that you never know who is actually watching you. And I'll just digress a little bit here from the follow-up part of it, but I had somebody contact me that I had no idea was following me, someone that I'd known a long time ago, and she ended up buying a bunch of lockets because she loved the stories that I was telling. And that was someone that I never in a million years would have known that she was actually following me. So we want to make sure that we are being consistent with what we do, and that includes our follow-up systems as well. 48% of people never follow up, ever. That's half of the people out there. And, something we're all guilty of this, absolutely. I mean, I'd love to say I do all these things and do them consistently, but the truth of the matter is I suck sometimes at it too. When I'm good, I'm really good at it, but when I suck at it. So it is really something that, you have to make a concerted effort to do. And we'll talk about some of the ways to be able to do that. So what can follow-up do for us? So as we said before, it really is the single most important thing that we can do to propel our business forward. It helps connect you with your customers, and most important, it does create that loyalty. And that's why it's so important to get those customers or those leads into your VIP page. And if you don't have a VIP page, you should really be creating a VIP page as well, or at least a business page or someplace to be able to connect with these people on a more personal level. Anyone can do follow-up, including our competitors. So you want to have that edge, and by doing the consistent follow-up with our leads and with our existing customers, that will give us the edge ahead, and also we become that go-to person for that customer. And you want to make sure, like, getting a customer isn't easy, right? And so when you have a customer, you want to do everything you can in order to be able to keep them as a customer as well. Next slide, please. So why do people not follow up? So we know we should, right? We know we should do that, but we also know that most people don't do it. So even though it is the single most important thing that you can do for your business, most people don't do it. And there's a couple of things that I think happen here. Most people, not most, but a lot of people don't really see it as a priority or see it as something that's important. And they're afraid to pick up the phone. So I'm saying, don't pick up the phone, text, do other things. We're afraid to hear that no. And I mean, there's all that whole adage that people say, you have to hear a lot of no's to get a yes. Well, nobody likes hearing the no. I know that. I hate hearing the no. And we think that we're also maybe bothering people by calling them or texting them. And I'm going to give you a little tip a little bit further on how we can kind of get past our own fear of doing that part of it, because it's a real fear. I know. I hate picking up the phone. And anyone who's in sales hates picking up the phone. It's like probably the worst thing that you can have to do, at least in my books it is. So we have to find other ways of being able to get past that. But if we are the one to make that contact, we're the one who's going to make that connection. We're the one that they're going to remember. And by not doing it, we're losing sales and we're losing revenue. And I don't know about you, but I don't really can't afford to do that in my business. I don't want to lose money by not making that connection. I want to honor the people that have said to me, yes, here is my information. I'm giving it to you. Now it's up to me to do something with it and honor them by doing something with it. So where do you get your leads? So we can get our leads from lots and lots of different places in your back office and in our trainingnest.com, our training website that Monica put together, which is amazing. If you guys haven't been in it, please get in it, bookmark it on your phone, bookmark it on your computer, and make sure all of your new people that have joined, your new designers, know about that website, because it is invaluable to being able to find things really quickly. So the Alice list is in there. And it just gives you a little tweaking of who you can that you might think, oh, I don't know anybody. But if you take out that Alice list, you might find that there's a whole bunch of people that do fit into there. Pick up the phone and start talking and texting to people, or texting to people like, you have lots of contacts in here. I know you have lots of contacts in here. I have lots of contacts in here. So let's get in touch with those contacts. And it's so much easier now with the app too. So if you haven't downloaded the app, please make sure you download it on your phone. I know it can be a little intimidating at first if you haven't really done much with the app. And trust me, I am your Monica, am I the least technical person you know? I'm calling Repling all the time going, I don't know how to do this. But you know what? All you have to do is work it, try it. You can't break it. So, just get past the fear, and there's lots of training videos in there as well. But it's an amazing way to connect with people. And the one thing that I always want to say to people is never assume who will or won't be interested in what you have to say. You have no idea what's going on behind people's lives. People that I make the mistake of sometimes assuming or not assuming they might or might not be interested, I can be completely off base. So you know what? we've all joined for a reason because most of us love the jewelry. We love what it can do for our moods and how we feel. And you know, for a lot of people are doing this because they want to raise that little bit of extra money. Some want to raise a little bit of more money to be able to go on trips. Whatever your reason is, everybody has a reason. So we want to make sure that, you know, it is up to us to talk to people about Origami Owl and what our jewelry can do, because you never know what's going on in people's lives. Business cards. Make sure you're handing out those business cards to everyone. They cost pennies, especially when, you know, we have all these crazy deals on Vistaprint, and we have our Vistaprint team account. If you don't, if you're not very creative or like myself, get in there because we have templates. Monica's created some templates. Other people have created templates in there, and we can use those templates in order to be able to create business cards. So hand those suckers out to everyone. Personally, I hand out our Toms, and I have my sticker on the back of it, and these are my business cards. Yes, I do have business cards as well, but this is what I like to hand out to people because this is tangible. People still love to take this and flip through the pages and mark things off on it. So those are things that you want to do. You never know who your next host is or who your next person is going to be. It could be that person in the grocery line. It could be the person who's commented in a locket to you. You could be on a group on Facebook and someone private messages you. That's happened to me actually quite a few times. There's a few people on my team that I have met just by being in a Facebook group, and they have joined and they're loving it. Jewelry bars, I mean, that is your number one place to get leads. And we're going to talk about a couple things that you can do while you're at your jewelry bars. Of course, events. If those of you who do events, you can just what Linda's doing right now. She had an event all weekend and she got people's names and contact information, and she's going to now be a really good person and follow up with everybody, right, Linda? You switched it, Monica? So capturing information. There's a couple of different ways that you can capture information. So we have lead pads. So there's templates for these in the Vistaprint account, and these are probably your easiest way to be able to get the leads. And when I have someone fill out one of these, I try and talk to as many people as I can about it, and I will ask them questions like, what is the best time to call you? Do you prefer to be called? Do you prefer to be texted? Do you prefer email? Do you prefer the morning or the afternoon? Because as I'm having that conversation with them, they're actually giving me permission to follow up with them. And that's a really interesting thing. If you think about it, they've given you permission. So why aren't we doing it? Why aren't we following up with them? Because they've actually told us, yes, here is my information. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. I prefer text. I prefer email. Call me in the morning. Whatever it is, as you've had that conversation with someone, you want to make sure to honor them and follow through with what they have given you permission to do. And what you can also do on that is after they leave, write down a few little tips about them. They liked a certain charm, they like something, so you have something to actually have that conversation with. And of course, the app is an amazing way to be able to do that too. You could actually put their contact information right into your phone and send them some information, send them a picture, our hostess rewards, whatever it is you've talked about. You could do that right there on the spot just by adding them into your phone. And again, there are instructions on how to do that. There's training videos on how to do that. But this can be your number one business maker for following up. So, leads from jewelry bars. So those of you who do jewelry bars, whether they're online or whether they are live jewelry bars, so if you have an online jewelry bar, then you want to make sure that you are asking as a friend request for everybody that's in that jewelry bar. And if you follow some of the templates that are in that Origami Owl has provided for us, and we've put all of those templates into a group, and we have the group on our website, our team page, then you'll see that there is a consistent message in there about increasing the amount of people that we encounter and become friends with, because we all need to expand our circle. I mean, I completely went through my warm market, I mean, people that are around me. really quickly. And, after all these years, I have to meet new people. And the only place I'm going to be able to do that is if I put myself out there and introduce myself to people. Jewelry bars become a great place to be able to do that. So you want to get people's information. And there's lots of different games that you can do. I've done a game at a live jewelry bar where I've asked everybody, I've said, okay, the first person to text me, I'm going to enter your name into a draw, and so, or they're going to get a free charm or something, and then everybody who texts me are going to go into a draw as well. So what happens is that they now have your contact information in your phone, in their phones, and you have theirs in your phone. So you're able to easily follow up with them because all that information is really at your fingertips. So there's lots of different ways to get people's info. The most important thing, though, is you have to ask, and you have to be really sometimes get out of your comfort zone to ask as well. And you're going to find that, don't you find it's amazing the information that people give you when you're speaking with them? Well, it's the same type of thing. Like, people just give you their phone numbers, they give you their email addresses, but we need to do something with it. And that's what all the follow-up is about. So go into an event, when you go to talking about leads from events, you really want to go into an event with intention. And we could do a whole webinar here on events, and maybe we'll do that at another time. But the really important thing with going into events is, yes, I know we all want to make back our tables. I mean, we put money out. That would be something that we want to do. But most importantly, you want to go in with intention and decide what your intention is. Is your intention to get leads? Is your intention to book jewelry bars? Is your intention to get sales? It is an ideal place to be able to meet new people. Think of how many people are around there. And I'm not talking about just the people that are walking around, but your other vendors that are there are amazing leads for you. Some of them become designers with you. Some of them will want to purchase items to give as team gifts for their teams. And if we get to know them, we get to know a little bit about their needs, and we can also find out about other events from them. So the other vendors that are there are really, really important to connect with, and to get their information, and again, make sure that you're following up with them. You can do a draw with your lead slips. When I do a draw with my lead slips, basically everybody is a winner. I will send out an email to everybody, and I will offer them something. It could be, a free charm with purchase, or it could be 10% off their next purchase, whatever offer you want to do. The thing is that you want to make sure that everybody gets rewarded, not just one person, because you don't want to contact just one person. You want to contact all of those people. And this is where you can also use your app too. There are, in the back office, the O2 Connection back office version, there are templates in there in order to be able to send out follow-ups. You can create your own as well. If you get a little bit of courage on playing around with it, you can create your own templates that go out. And in those templates, you can embed a catalog, you can embed hostess reward information, you can embed the link to your VIP page in there too. It's a great way to connect with people. So I try and talk to as many people as I said to fill out those cards. And as I said, the two most important questions I ask are what the best time to contact you are, and how do you prefer to be contacted? By asking those two questions, they are so key because they've given permission to you to actually contact them. And we want to make sure that we are doing that. And I talk a lot about honoring our customers because, let's face it, our customers are what make our business. So we want to say, yes, you are important to me, and I will contact you, and I will follow up with you. And that can be in any of these forms that we're talking about, whether it's email, text, or a phone call. So in order to grow, you need to talk to people. So you have to be prepared. Always have catalogs on cards with you. It's kind of like the Girl Guides, Girl Scouts motto: be prepared. I always have 2 or 3 of these in my purse. I usually have more in the car if I've used them. My goal when I'm out and about is to give out at least 3 of these a day. And that could be, I could be sitting at Tim's having a coffee, or at Starbucks having a coffee, and I will make almost like a grandiose things of, oh, I've got these catalogs, and I bring my stuff out, and people will stop and ask. They'll get curious, and they might not say anything, but then it becomes up to us to just say, do you want to see what I got? It's okay, come on over. I've said that to so many people when they'll kind of look from afar, and I'll say, it's okay, come by, come take a closer look, it's easier to see. But you always want to have these, and you always want to have your cards. Because you never know when people would have. You can also use things like sticky notes and have the sticky notes on your catalogs, and that way people will fill in the information that you give in the catalog, and you keep the sticky note. Do any of you have kids? I know some of you have kids. Do you go to programs? Okay, while you're at the program, you're going to meet more people there. While you're at the program, you know what? Reorganize your charm tray. Get people into what you're doing, and you know what, there's definitely leads that can be made there. These things, they cost pennies in the grand scheme of things of what it can do for your business. As I said, I've actually left mine on sinks in the bathroom. Why not, right? So now that you have leads, what do you do with them? We have leads, we now have to work with them, and there's really no magic answer to turning a lead into a sale. Just like there's no magic answer to turning a lead into desire. But if you don't do anything, you have actually neither of them. So it's really important now that we find a system that works for you. And what works for one person might not work for another. Sometimes it's some trial and error as to what will and won't work. And you might find that some things work for a little bit of time, and then you kind of need to change it. And then you got to realize that sometimes you get too comfortable with what you're doing and you don't do as much of it anymore. And then you kind of think, I need to get back and do what I did. And I'm kind of in that place right now where I was really, really good for a while, and I haven't been, like, really bluntly honest, I haven't been so good lately in following up. So I need to get back into my system. So doing this has been cathartic for me, because it's kind of making me realize that there's things that I need to start getting done again. So let's talk about what to do. So again, different things work for different people. I'm going to share some ideas that I've used and I've seen posted before, and then we can talk about some different, open up the discussions, see what works for you and what you've done, because everybody's going to have something that's different. And sometimes when we talk about all the different ways that you can follow up, something someone says might tweak you as remember to do something that maybe you hadn't done before or want to try doing. So I love Belinda Ellsworth. She is one of the leaders of training in the direct sales industry. I've been following her since I literally fell into direct sales about 5 years ago, because I didn't have any systems. I didn't know what direct sales was for that matter. So I really needed something to help me. And she has a system that I loved, and I found it was easily adaptable for everyone. And one was called the 222 and one was called the Power Hour. And both have been amazing tools for me for follow-up. So let's talk about them. So we know there's lots of touch points, with our customers, and we can make a difference. But what we always want to do is make sure that when we're following up, you want to follow up at least within 2 days. I mean, if you can do it the day after, or even that night when you get home, it's great. But you always want to do something within 2 days of getting those leads. So Linda, it's awesome to see you putting all that stuff out now, because I know you had your event this weekend, and getting them out now is really that first step. And for anybody that did have events this weekend, like, you want to get those that first email out there as quickly as possible. And that first email is really just a thanking them for their sale if they have purchased something from you, letting them know when that, if they had to order it, when it's going to arrive, or just asking them, I hope they're loving what they purchased. Then you want to follow up 2 weeks later and making sure that if you did have to order the first of all, it has arrived, or we might have something that has just released. So what did we have released today, everybody? We had Easter. So anybody who's had someone who's purchased something in the past month, it's a great way to be able to reconnect with them and follow up, and suggesting an add-on item to something they might have purchased. Or I know that Angela she had a customer who absolutely wanted that white bunny rabbit, and I know she's going to be contacting her right away to let her know. And then you want to follow up 2 months later. So how do you do this? How do you keep track with everything? I mean, I don't know about you, but I got papers all over the place because I haven't been so good on my system, and I'm not letting you see any of that. So the Power Hour is really about finding that time to do it. So it's taking They call it an hour. It doesn't have to be an hour. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. It could be whatever you want to do. But within that time frame that you set out, you want to schedule that time. You want to close your door. You want to tune out the rest of the world. And for those 15 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever time frame that you put onto it, you are going to be doing follow-up. So get your calendar out. And when you have your calendar out, you want to mark it right in your calendar there that between 7:30 and 7:45 or 7:30 and 8 o'clock, you are going to be following up with your event, with your customers, and that time is non-negotiable time. I know you're all busy. We're all busy. We all have busy lives. We have kids, we have programs, we have things, we want to go to the gym, we have work, all that type of stuff. But if you schedule in that 15 minutes, that 20 minutes, it might be 15 minutes at 7 o'clock and another 15 minutes after you get your kids to bed at 9:30. But pick that time to be able to do the follow-up, and I promise you that if you stick to those times, you will get your follow-up done. I know, because I have done it that way, and when I say, yeah, I have follow-up to do, it doesn't get done. But when I put it in my calendar, it totally always gets done. So you can do things in a lot of different ways, whatever works for you. Some people will use the cards. Some people will use a paper and put lines across it. Some people will use folders. Lots of people will use their phones. They'll use their phones to be able to use the app to be able to do it. Follow-up has to be intentional, and you have to have a system. So you've got to find what works for you. And you might find you're trying several different systems till you find the one that really works, or you might take bits and pieces of different types of systems in order to be able to do things. The key here is find something that works for you, because if it works for you, you will do it. Just because it works for somebody else might not work for you. You got to find what works for you. And if the phone is a thing that does it for you, then put all your stuff in the phone and work it that way. Use the back office in the O2 connection, because there is lots. And I understand that there are also going to be more of a follow-up templates coming as well. So keep in touch with your back office because there will be some more stuff coming there as well. So when you get all those leads, what do you do with them? So how I've always done them is I divide my lead cards up. So there will be those that have checked off that they're interested on being either on a newsletter, on my website, like on my VIP page, that maybe they're interested in hosting or they're interested in a business opportunity. Because yes, people do check off those boxes. So anyone that wants to join my VIP page, I will send them out an email. I do use the back office, the O2 app, because then I can embed, as I said, some of those other things in there. Because remember, I want to be intentional. I want them to have that catalog. I want them to see the type of rewards, and I want them to join my VIP page. If I've done a ballot, again, this is a great way I can, introduce that. I give 10%. That's what I do to anybody who purchases directly from me because they got my email. Anyone who is interested in hosting the business or having a business opportunity call, I will either call them, or if I have friended them already on Facebook, I will do a Facebook chat with them. I find that a lot of people now really want to do conversations with me through Facebook Messenger. So whether it's texting through Facebook Messenger, or actually I do calls through Facebook Messenger as well. I would say that the past few people that have joined with me we've done it through Facebook Messenger. So definitely if calling is something that you don't want to do it on the phone, Facebook takes away some of that intimidation for some reason. I'm finding it very easy to be able to do that through Facebook Messenger. So try that. If you haven't tried that yet, definitely try that. Next slide, please. So we want to keep track. So on those papers that we had before, we were writing down when we talked to somebody, mark down the date of the conversation, mark down anything that was relevant that you might have talked to them about, whether it's a birthday coming up, an anniversary, a special occasion. These are touch points, and you always want touch points in order to be able to follow up with. And you always want to keep going until somebody tells you, no, please, you know what, I'm not interested, take me off your list. Keep going. Because remember, that 3rd to 12th touch point is when that sale can somebody has sometimes happened. So there are people that I have been touching base with that asked me a long time ago about what Origami Wow is all about. So when we have different promotions that have come out, I've sent them to them. And I always preface with, I just wanted to keep you on the loop of what was going on. You had asked me to keep you up to date with what was happening. And I just want to let you know about our newest promotion or our newest release. And sometimes I'll even say, if you don't want to receive any more information from me, just let me know. But I've never had anybody say no. So they just keep getting information from me. And you never know where that one's going to go. So the key to success really is getting out of your comfort zone and following up. So just do it. I mean, it really, and I should really put this to myself. I have to just do it because it really makes a difference. I know that when I am consistent with my follow-up, my business soars. When I stop following up and don't do those touch points, I have to work twice as hard to get back to where I was before. So all of those leads that are sitting over there right now, which I'm not going to show you, I am going to actually put in my calendar that I know I have to spend some intentional time to work those leads and follow up with people. At least if nothing else, I just want to get an email out to them, thank them for their purchase, or invite them to my VIP page. And it's so easy in the app. All I have to do is enter their name and send them out an email. So I just have to do it. Get out of the comfort zone and just do it. And I think that's the last slide. So yeah, okay, so now it's your turn. I've given you a bunch of ideas, but I know that a lot of you have different things that you're doing to follow up. I'd love to hear what some of those are. So maybe we can open up the mics, or I haven't been able to watch any of the questions. Monica, I don't know if there's anything in there that anyone was asking.
No, actually.
Did I do that good of a job? There's no question.
Yep.
Actually, Randy, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to excuse this hair.
I love it.
This is my bed hair. I don't care. It's actually, I'm trying to grow my hair so I can do whatever I want with
Here,
it.
we can trade.
There she goes.
I just cut mine off. I don't have wings anymore.
I can't stand my hair touching my neck or my face. So the minute I come home, it goes like this. But it's going to be saved for convention, so I won't look like this. But anyways, so I don't have something that I do because I suck probably the most at follow-up. I really do.
You're not
We
alone.
all do.
I'm trying to figure out when does it kind of, in the person's eyes, border on annoying, and when should I stop? So I'll give you a couple examples. One, I had a customer who has purchased a bracelet wrap for herself before, like a year ago when I first joined, a while ago when I first joined, and she had reached out to me some time ago and said that she was really contemplating now putting together a bracelet look for her sister or sister-in-law. And so I followed up with her, and I've followed up, but she's seen the replies, but she's never replied. So, I mean, when bracelets go on sale, I message her again, but when do I kind of stop? Because she's not responding at all with anything. And then I have another one who, my boss was wearing a necklace at our board office one day, and she was at the reception desk, and she stopped my boss mid-conversation and said, "Oh my God, where did you get that locket?" She actually bought 2 lockets from me that night, wanted my contact info, and we've been touching bases, and I've been emailing her because she said she wanted to do a jewelry bar. So I keep reaching out to her every time there's a new release, and she hasn't said no yet or stop yet. She's at least responding. So I think with her, I definitely will keep going. Now the Easter's out, I'll email her for sure. But the other lady, just kind of when do you sort of take it more that you're being more annoying than you are? Because I don't know, I kind of feel like being on the other end. I mean, I think they would tell you to stop. I don't want it no more. I don't want to hear from you no more. But
so I think those are really great questions. And it's interesting because it's in our head that it's a problem. So we have to get out of our own heads sometimes there. She hasn't told you no. She hasn't told you stop. In fact, I have one person who's very similar to that, who's asked me to keep in contact with her. And I've actually even said, if you don't want me to send these to you anymore, just let me know. But otherwise, I'm just going to keep sending them to you. So she just gives me thumbs up every time I do. But she's never said to me, don't.
Okay.
So we need to get past our own, I don't know what the word is for it, our own preconceived notions of what other people think.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
Because remember that slide up there that said most sales are made on the 15th to 18th touch point?
Okay.
You never know when that touch point is going to be.
Okay. Okay. And can I ask one more quick question? And this is not about a follow-up, but actually about the other vendors. So at vendor events, you had said that, those are your people. You really want to talk to them, A, for sales, A, for joining you. But I'm just trying to figure out in terms of because I've, the policies and procedures. And I thought there was actually a clause in there about not soliciting other direct sales reps. And do we border on that at all or no?
You're not soliciting it. You're just offering them, telling them a bit about the opportunity that we have. I have had people that have joined because they want to buy gifts for their team members. They're not actively doing the business part of it, but they're putting in enough PV because they have a higher team and they need rewards for them. I just had somebody who actually joined for that reason.
Okay, so we're not doing anything wrong by sharing.
Nope.
With them. Nope. Okay, all right, perfect.
I wouldn't do it with another jewelry vendor.
yeah, right. No, but I'm talking like a 31 rep or something like that. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm done.
Lots of us have people on our teams that have a second business.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks, Randy.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Linda.
Oh.
Yeah, you're doing follow-ups. Share what you're doing. Share what you're, or tell us what you think you're going to do.
That I had here, and these are all the ones that just have phone numbers.
Oh.
And they don't have anything checked off. So I picked a winner, but this is the form I'm using.
Oh yeah.
Picked it out. I have all my ones here that have given me permission with the little X on there to share with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go through and do these ones tonight. Those call ones, I'm not going to lie, they scared a little bit crap out of me.
What about texting them, Linda?
A lot of them were older clientele that just go in and enter draws.
Yeah.
And I do notice a lot of that, and I noticed that my Friday from 12 to 3 was mostly seniors. And they just come in and enter draws.
Have you ever had anybody that peels off stickers?
I was going to say, I actually don't even, because if they're not going to take the time to fill this out, they are not going to take the time with me.
Right. I've had that happen where people were just like,
in there, or stamps. These lovely stamps.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've had that. But I actually love the O2 connection for follow-up, because if somebody doesn't want to see your stuff anymore, they can opt out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've had a few people opt out, probably out of the, I don't know how many I have in there, but I've had 3 people opt out.
Yeah.
Over the course of however long it's been. So that's not bad. I'm not taking that personally whatsoever.
No, and you can't. I mean, that's a really good point too, and that's to April's point. You cannot take it personally at all. It is not against you that they might be doing something. When I came over to Origami-L, I took all of my previous contacts. When the O2 connection came up, I put them in the O2 connection, and I sent them all an email from there. Now, lots of them opted out. That's fine.
Yeah, but I continue. I've had somebody in. Well, it wasn't the O2 connection, it was my contact manager. And I've been contacting her for 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she still every so often will message me and say, can you send me a catalog? She hasn't bought anything for 3.5 years, the initial buy, but she still reads them. I see now in the O2 connection that she's read them.
Right.
And so it's not a waste of my time if somebody's reading something.
Right. The O2 connection is amazing. It took me a while to get into it and to get past my fear of it. And then I realized I cannot break it. You cannot break. Trust me, if I didn't break it, none of you could break it. And the training videos are pretty good too. So, and we get it like for $32 for the entire year. I mean, it's like that can build your business. Lots of people run their business just through the connection.
It is a lot of work initially inputting things, but I like the option of rating people as well as to how, like you can do hot prospects or people that are interested in joining. You can make your own little files, and because I do each file as per each show I do, or if I'm at a location, like I'm at a, have one location that I go to quite often, and so I have that as a file. And then, if somebody's interested in joining, I always send them the new updated information. So
the other thing that I do too for those that where I'm going to a location on a consistent basis. So I have a couple of places that I go to once a month. So before I go, about 2 to 3 days before I go to that location, because I put them also in a file, I send them out a message through the O2 connection that tells them when I'll be there. I give them the new catalog or any new information, and if there's anything they'd like me to put aside for them, that I will do that, or bring their jewelry and we can add some things to it. And I do get some feedback from it, but it's a consistency part of it, and that's part of that the 3 to 19 touch points on there. Anyone else? You're so quiet.
Hey, it's Carrie. I just joined now. Sorry.
Hey, Carrie.
My son's hockey game was just ended.
Oh, there's Carrie Brown. There she is. I was waiting for the entrance as per usual.
Like an hour into it. I'm so sorry.
Always. Got to make an entrance. I love it.
Well, we recorded it, Carrie. Don't you worry.
Yes, everything's recorded.
Thank you.
That's why if anybody has any other questions, ask away or share. Otherwise, I will stop the recording so it's not too long and doesn't take 3 days to load. But I think that was an awesome 101 on follow-up. I think same as what Randy's been saying the whole time, everybody's been sharing. It's so crucial to our business, yet it's like one of the easiest things to procrastinate with. Like it's just, I know how important it is. Exactly. And you're creating more stress on yourself every day that you put it aside, because that, hey, the more I'm pushing this aside, the less and less, people's interest is going to be, and you're like, I know I got to do this now, but somehow it just seems so easy to push the pile aside. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's where I know I fall into the bad mindset of it all. And I think it's just like, rip the Band-Aid off, get it done. And then when you get the sale, you're like punching yourself in the face. Like, why didn't I do this sooner? So
one of the things that I will do, and I have done when I've gotten to this place where I've been bad on following up, is that I will pick today to start, and I will, so tomorrow I have an event. So what I'm going to do is those people that I meet tomorrow, I am going to put them in tomorrow night when I get home, and I'm going to send out an email, and then I'm going to start working on the pile. But I'm not going to worry about the pile when I have people that I've met right now. Exactly. So I'm going to get those people done, and then I'm going to start dwindling on my pile. The first thing I need to do is get them into my O2 connection, and then I can start putting it. So just a matter of sitting down and getting that 15 minutes into my calendar. Maybe 15 minutes from 7 to 7:15, and again from 8 to 8:30. And that way I don't feel like, oh my God, I can sit here for an hour, because you don't have to. You can break it down into the different parts. Okay, Monica, it's hard to stay there.
I just saw Carrie turn the light on. I was waiting if it was her bathroom or not. Sorry. I agree with you. And you know what I want to compare it to? When you were talking, where my mind went was my taxes. Okay? Exactly the same thing. It's something that needs to get done, and it should be a priority. But somehow, oh my gosh, she actually has the friggin' floss. Look at her. Don't even. And it's a priority, and it's got to get done, and it just creates more and more stress every month you put it aside, right? So that's where I was like, right away, I'm like, oh my gosh, so now I got my taxes done, and I'm like, okay, next step of commitment is keeping up on follow-up. And yeah, it's going to slip through the cracks, but it's like, if you can just start, right? Once you start, then you're like, well, this isn't so bad.
Right.
It just takes a little time, but yeah, it's our damn mindset that kind of puts the brakes on a lot of these things.
We become our own worst enemies.
Oh God, yeah. And like you said, we answer for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, follow up, they checked the card.
Yeah. They gave us permission.
Yeah.
They said, here is my phone number. Here is my email. You
Please
can
call
me in
me.
the morning. You can call me at the night. You can text me. I prefer you text me. They have given us permission to get in contact with them. And what do? We
Nothing.
don't do it. So
and then we get upset when they contact another designer because you haven't followed up with them and they sign or host a jewelry bar. Oh yes, we've been through that situation many times, right, ladies? I've heard it every time.
Yeah.
So it's mindset. It's totally mindset. And again, life gets in the way. We're running, we're doing things, but it's like, do the 15 minutes. Just, I don't care if it's 3 minutes and you do 1 card, 3 cards, whatever. But
and your 15 minutes might be at 7:00 in the morning.
Right.
It doesn't have to be.
Not mine.
Yeah. Mine is definitely not at 7:00 in the morning.
No.
But
whatever.
schedule it. Take your calendar out and actually schedule it into it. Because when you block off time in your calendar, and I know, Monica, you did a whole thing on calendaring.
Time blocking.
As well. When you time block that in there, then you become responsible to that time. By not putting it into the calendar, it's really easy not to do it. So make that a priority in your calendar, because I know when I do that, then it gets done. Otherwise, it just becomes something I'm supposed to do.
Exactly. It shifted my entire business this year. Calendaring, time blocking, actually planning, actually executing. I'm very good at planning, but the execution part was where I was lacking. So this year it was just do it. You booked it, that takes priority. Now do it, and then go on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. So same thing here. It's just mindset. It really is, for each of us, but it's figuring out that time, like you said. Everybody has time. It's just,
So my question to everybody that's on here right now is, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Follow up.
Yeah. How are you going to start? What are you going to do to start? Are you going to get your calendar out? Are you going to mark the time in it? Do you have those forms that are sitting on the side here like mine are? Make it a priority, because you will see a difference in your business when you really start to follow up with your customers and your leads.
I'm leaving catalogs in the toilets at Disney tomorrow, like you said. I'm not joking you. I'm going to Disney tomorrow. Every toilet's going to be floating with an Origami Owl catalog. And every bathroom sink like you.
I do it. It's true.
That's the best way to get rid of old catalogs, too. If you don't want them, just dump them, literally, everywhere.
Billy was going through Walmart.
Yeah. Annette, you're right. Just start with one. If you start, it all starts with one.
Real.
That's
he
a
just
great
loaded
point.
the shelves.
They were old catalogs. Yeah.
But Annette was right. You have to start with one.
Yeah.
Just start with one.
Just do something. Anything. Pick up the pen, pick up the paper, and look at it, and just commit and do. That's our whole motto. Write it, plan it, take action, right?
Yep.
So I love that. Amazing. This was a great brainstorm session, no? I like the sharing. Thank you, Randy, for sharing. Anybody else have any more questions before we sign off? No? Carrie's dying to get her face washed and her PJs on without a camera on her. So, all right. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you, Randy, for sharing. Oh my God, April, you and that hair, I swear to God.
Sorry.
Can we spray paint it yellow and you be a minion?
Is that the character that wears like that as a minion?
Or the trolls. Trolls.
Trolls. That's right.
Little pink. We could do the pink one, Poppy. Oh my God. It's
Top of her head.
I love it. I think it's so cute.
There's an explanation for it, Carrie, don't ask.
Okay.
Monica, I just wanted to say, actually, well, Randy, I want to say thank you. This was really informative, and I'm going to email that lady that hasn't answered me in 13 emails. I'm going to email her again right now.
What's
I love
amazing is the 14th one is the one she answered you back.
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
you go.
And Monica, have, oh my God, an amazing time at Disney. I'm so jealous. Anyways, have an amazing time.
Thank you.
Pictures.
Pictures.
Have fun.
There'll be lots of pictures. Yes, I'm exhausted. We're up at 3:30, so spending the day tomorrow there is not at the top of my list, but sometimes you got to do those things.
That's it.
How long does it take for the Zoom to come up? Is it tomorrow that we'd see it? The
No,
recording? Oh, it's right
if
away.
if I get off here and I process it, yeah, I can get it up tonight.
Okay.
So no, it just needs time to like load into my Zoom account. So anyways, I'm going to stop recording. Hold on.